content creation, and we're back. Okay, this is the one that's gonna take a little bit more time. So you're gonna want to maybe get a piece of paper and write down a list of the ingredients because, ladies and germs, this is two recipes in one, but it's the same thing. In the long run, we're making lasagna. It's gonna be delicious, and it's gonna be nutritious, and it's gonna be filling, and as soon as you taste it, it's gonna eat it all up, and it's gonna be gone. So what you need now, 10-inch pan to make the ingredient, and we all know what our favorite ingredient is over here, the content creation, pink slime. You need a pound of that for the sauce. Now, this is the magic that's gonna happen with this recipe. If you don't want meat in your lasagna, leave it out. You're still gonna need this pot. You're still gonna need this pan. But when you leave out the pink slime, it turns into a vegetable lasagna. So you got a vegetable lasagna for any vegetarian or somebody out there who's got issues with burger, meat, fish, or anything else like that. So we're gonna make it. We got the 16-quart pot, 10-inch pan. We're gonna make lasagna! Yeah! Okay, let's go over the ingredients. Guys, we'll go to the cans first because they just happen to be there. You're gonna want some tomato paste. This will thicken up the lasagna sauce because we're gonna make a sauce. I'm gonna show you that after we do the vegetables because this is something that's so simple to make. All you're gonna do is layer things up. So you're gonna need some tomato sauce. I got the whole big old can. It looks like it says 1 pound. That's what y'all want. You're gonna want some olives. We love olives. They're a good item to put into something to unify tastes and neutralize the tastes. And then the pink slime, we want that one. Okay, so those are the ingredients with the cans. And the pink slime is the only meat you're gonna put if you want your lasagna to have hamburger in it or beef or whatever we're calling it. Everybody calls everything so many different things. It's getting confusing. I don't like it. So we got the tomato sauce, the paste, the olives, the pink slime. Let's go to the vegetables. I'm gonna go ahead and move these out of the way now. And then we're gonna check out the vegetables. This is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some garlic. Come back here, you. Now, I call this a clover of garlic. Most people call it a clove. Now, this I call a whole clove of garlic because it's all of them together. So a clove of garlic, a clover of garlic. Now, if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter because when I cook it, it's still gonna frickin' taste delicious. You might need two because we're making some lasagna and we love garlic. We love the taste of garlic. It neutralizes and evens out all the rest of the stuff when you're adding other vegetables. Now, when you got garlic, you're gonna want zucchini, okay? Two kinds of zucchini. You want the green zucchini and you want the yellow zucchini. Some of them people call this squash. Why? I don't know. These are small. Squashes are usually a lot larger, like a gazaba type of a squash. Pumpkins and the like that are huge. Now with these, this adds color. They're both basically the same. You're gonna want squash or zucchini. I call it zucchini because I speak weird sometimes. We're gonna want some tomatoes. We're just gonna chop those up even though it's a big old tomatoey type of a recipe. We're gonna want some tomatoes for some meat just so that it has a little bite. We want tomatoes. All right, we got some broccoli. Got to use that broccoli. That's delicious. We're going to chop off the tops like we did in other recipes, and we're going to use the stock. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? We got an onion. We want an onion, a yellow onion, a lot of flavor. Good onion bite. There's many different onions. There's red onions. There's white onions. There's sweet onions. There's yellow onions. I like the yellow onions because they're bitter. They got bite. They're delicious. We got onion. Then we're doing the mushrooms. Yep, we're going to throw some mushrooms in that lasagna, ladies and germs. Look at that. These are the vegetables we got, and that is going to go in the recipe. And it's going to be delicious! Now, the next set of ingredients is going to be the cheeses. There's no such thing as lasagna without cheese, baby. So we're going to go bulk. We got ourselves the cheddar jack cheese mix from the Winco because that's where I shop at. So we got that. We got the mozzarella sticks. They're mozzarella. I don't know this brand, but there's a lot of it, and it was inexpensive. I love buying stuff that's inexpensive. Cottage cheese. Believe it or not, this is going to take the place of the ricotta. A lot of people love ricotta cheese in their lasagna, but I'm a poverty-stricken person who loves to make food that tastes delicious at the least amount of money necessary. So we're using the cottage cheese. We're going to put all this in there, and believe it or not, you'll never taste it. It just blends in all the other flavors. So what else we're going to need? Think about it. Think about it. Give it a second. It's lasagna. You need lasagna shells. So we got the lasagna. Okay? And the other item we need, it's right before your eyes, you didn't see it, maybe you didn't notice it, is this pan. We need a lasagna pan, yo. And then, that's it. We're going to put all this stuff together, and we're going to cook up some sauce, and going to lay it up in this pan, and we're going to throw it in the oven, and then it's going to be delicious! Delicious content creation, we're back, and we're going to do the vegetables. Let's go ahead and chop these mushrooms up. And let me show you how you want to do it, because what we're going to do with this recipe is going to be very similar to the enchilada casserole, because it's going to be stacked and layered. But what we want to do is take these mushrooms, and we just want to go ahead and cut them in half. You don't have to. You can actually just go ahead and cut them like this, which is always awesome if you want to have a nice big bite of mushroom while you're eating your lasagna. This is awesome right here. I love to have a big bite of mushroom because I love mushroom. I love all foods. I eat all foods. I'm lucky enough to have no allergies, and I will eat everything. But so we take the choppy chop like this, and then we just go ahead and chop that into little bite sizers. Some people like to have smaller bite sizes. Some people like larger bite sizes. So what we want to do is just get them sliced up like that. So we want to slice up these, and let me tell you, it's best to go ahead and bowl up the stuff. Put it in bowls. So when you go to layer it, you'll have all your bowls around, and what happens is you end up being able to put a little bit of everything on every layer. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and just chop these all up like that. Then we're going to put them in the lasagna pan with all the other ingredients, and then we're going to layer it up. So there, you will be able to probably, if you do it right, and if there's enough stuff, you'll be able to have a little bit of all the vegetables and all the meat and all the flavor and everything else inside every layer. So you probably get some in every single one of the servings that you make. See, now look how I'm doing that. See, I slice those up. They don't have to be perfect. We're talking delicious. We're going to put it all in there. This is going to cook down. It's going to get really small anyways, because all the water is going to add to the sauce. It's going to add to the flavor. It all goes in there. So now what we want to do is take our broccoli. Same situation. Remember the broccoli? We just want to take off the little heads. We want them to be small because they're going to be bite-sized. They're going to be in the lasagna. They're going to be delicious. They're going to be covered in what's called sauce, lasagna-flavored deliciousness. And we're going to come back to these. Remember these when I said how we're going to clean those up and use those again? Now, what we want to do is just take all these little heads off. Okay, see how that is? See what we're doing? It's easy. It's easy. Anybody can do this. Don't worry about it. Just take off the heads. That's what we want, because we want little bite-sized flavors. Little bite-sized, like about this big or that big. That is perfect. So something like that is great. Some of this stuff is small enough, but what we do is just give them a chop in half and maybe another half. See, like that? We want all of that. Now, what you're going to see is when we put the stuff into the sauce, some of this is going to go into the sauce. Some of it's going to go into the lasagna itself. Because we are going to put some of all of this ingredients, all of the broccoli, all of the mushrooms, all the onion, all the everything is going to go into the sauce. It's going to have delicious content, creational sauces. So what we want to do is make sure when we do the sauce, we want to make sure that it is like over seasoned, because there's not going to be anything else seasoning it. It's only going to be the sauce. Now look at all this. Look at that. See how quickly and easy that is? These are great. We're just going to throw those in there. And we want all of this stuff. We do not want to lose any of this. So let's go ahead and get that all in there like that. All of this is delicious. All of that's healthy. All of that is what you want. Let me go ahead and get this off the counter. I hit that camera. Let's go ahead and just like that. Now, with these, what we want to do is go ahead, like I said before, I want to just take off all the roughage, all of the hard outside of the broccoli stalk. Okay, we only want the center part of that stalk. Okay, it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of that in there. We don't want any of that tough, rough, thick outside of that broccoli in there. And we got the broccoli right there. And then we do this little one right here like that. And just go ahead and put them like this and like this and like that. What we want to do is get to the center of this stalk. And what happens is that the inside is so delicious, so nutritious. And when you cook it up, you couldn't tell from one piece of broccoli to the other. So we're going to go ahead and just get rid of some of this stuff like that. And push those over. Now, what we will do in the lasagna is we're going to go ahead and make sure you can see these in there. So we're going to just cut them up large. So when you see these, you'll know this is the broccoli stock. Okay? And it goes with everything else in the sauce. These are really good to put in the sauce, these broccoli stalks. It's also good in the actual lasagna itself. We want to make sure we get rid of all that tough stuff because it's too chewy. Now, maybe if you've got a juicer, some people can juice this up into something. I don't juice because I don't have a juicer. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do this and this and that and that and then this and then that. These are all going to go into the sauce, and some of the broccoli itself is going to go into the sauce. So now we want to take some onion. We always love our onion. Onion is delicious. Now remember, you want to get a yellow onion, full of flavor. It's going to blend into all the other stuff, and it's going to taste delicious. Now, we're going to use this whole onion, so we're going to just go ahead and slice it like that. Like this. Uh-oh. Looks like this onion may have an issue. So, since we are the greatest cooks in the world, we're just going to go like this and like this and like this and like this. And get rid of that middle piece. We don't waste food here at the Delicious Content Creation. All we do is we get rid of the peelings, we get rid of the husks, we get rid of the stuff that isn't necessary. This is a good thing this is a pretty large onion. Yeah, look, we just got rid of the little... probably got bruised in shipping. Now, in all honesty, because it's going to get cooked and it's all going to be, you know, nice and soft, onions will turn opaque and they're easily eaten. We're going to just go ahead and cut all of this up. And we're going to make sure they're not too small and not too large. So just cut that onion. Watch how we do this. Everything's fine. We got this eyeball. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of that eyeball. And then we're going to chop this onion up. And because I know how to chop onions correctly, I am not going to cry. Just go ahead and chop these onions just like that. Now, you know, some people have asked, what's with that cutting board, yo? It's a piece of glass. I don't like this cutting board because it makes me nervous, but it's perfectly good for slicing. The trick is don't chop, okay? You don't want to do any chopping on it. In other words, you get a meat cleaver and you can start going like that, choppy, chop, chop, chop. No, this is slicing. See that? Get yourself a nice sharp knife and slice it up. And this is just fine because it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be delicious. And it's going to be soft. When you eat it, you won't even know you're eating the onion. It's just going to disappear inside the lasagna. Like almost everything else when we do something delicious like this. So we're going to throw that in there. Making kind of a mess because these onions are slippery. There we go. Come over here, you. We're just going to put it in a bowl. Going to put it in a bowl like that. And everything's going in with everything. This is a big mix. Going to make sure we have everything blended together with flavor and delicious. Now, when you buy these from the store, you're definitely going to want to give them a little wash off because a lot of people have been handling them. But what we're going to do with this zucchini is we're just going to chop off the ends like that. See that end right there? We'll just say, boop, it's gone. And see this tail right there? Boop, it's gone. That's okay. We don't really need it too much. And now the zucchini is going to go on every layer as well. We want to be able to have enough to be able to get it everywhere. So we're going to slice it just like that. See that? Look at that size. See how thick that is? These, it doesn't matter if they're too thick. You can get a thick one like this. It's okay. Because it's just going to be like any of the other stuff. The onion and everything else is going to be so soft when you go to chew it. It's not going to be hard. It's going to be cooked very well. We're just going to go ahead and throw some of these here in the bowl. They're adding up, and we'll just keep doing that. See, so we want to cut them all into these little circles. And what I have is a yellow zucchini for color. It adds color, and it's about the same taste. Now, some people call these things squash. All right, you want to call it squash? Call it squash. I don't care. Zucchini is zucchini. Squash is squash. Like I said before, I'm thinking squashes are a lot larger. And, you know, they're like a meal in itself. You want to cook a squash as like a main dish. Now, these, we don't want them too large, so we're going to chop that sucker in half, which gives us more color. Gives us more slices of zucchini for more layers. Now, our pan is not as deep as, you know, maybe something we were going to make if it was a roast or something. Our pan is a little bit more shallow, so we might have maybe 3 layers of lasagna. Maybe more, I'm not sure. We'll find out after we get all this stuff cut up and put in there. And the sauce and everything else thrown in there, it's all going to melt together. It's going to be delicious. So let's cut this up. I'm almost chopping it. I'm going to break this glass. You got to break this glass. Okay, there we go. Chop you in half like that. Okay, now that's the zucchini. Or zucchini. Yes, I know how to speak English properly. I can conjugate a sentence. Now, what have I told you in the past? Delicious is what I've told you in the past. God dang it, that's what we're talking about. Now, we're going to do a tomato. We really don't need tomato per se. But you know, in all honesty, it is a tomato lasagna sauce. And a little bite of tomato probably isn't going to hurt. So, we're going to chop the tomatoes. Delicious content creation. Time to cut tomatoes. We're just going to go ahead and take off the tops. A lot of people don't like these little things. I personally eat them. I don't mind. It's just part of the plant. It's probably very nutritious. We'll throw that over there. We'll take this guy out. Let's get this guy out. Watch this. Here we go. Come on, knife. Be sharp. My knife is supposed to be sharp. There we go. And delicious content creational. I'm just going to make it like this because this is a aroma tomato, ladies and girlies and ladies. Usually it's the ladies who cook at the house. I'm just going to chop it like that. This is aroma tomato. The reason I pick these is because they're very meaty. They're good for sauces. They're good for a bite. When you eat your food, you can actually know you're biting in a tomato, and it's actually there. So we're just going to go ahead and constructively chop these up. Now, I know that maybe you've never seen people cut vegetables the way I do, but I'm stupid with it. And believe me, when this cooks down, because some of these are going into the sauce, some are going into the lasagna, and as soon as we get them in there, they're just going to turn into everything that's called delicious, and that's what you're eating. That's what you want. You want deliciousness, and you want healthiness, and you want to be able to live a good life. Let me tell you what, when you got this kind of stuff in your belly, you're in a better mood, okay? Because you ever see somebody get upset when they're hungry? I don't, because I'm not hungry. If I get hungry, I eat. Everything stops. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We need food to survive, and if you're going to eat, it should be like a celebration of life, and make sure that your food is delicious. Let's go ahead, put that right there, and what we've been doing is accumulating all of these vegetables. Come with me real quick. Over here by the stove. we're gonna combine everything on this side. We're gonna have our pan, we're gonna have our pot. We're gonna put the vegetables in there and we're gonna layer it up. We'll be right back. Delicious! Delicious, and we're back. Now it's time to cut up the garlic. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen anything like this, but usually if you have a head of garlic or a clove of garlic and you want to chop up the clovers, or whichever way you want to say it, a bushel of garlic and a clover of garlic, oh, god dang it, or however you want to say it, a bushel of garlic or a clover of garlic, basically what you want to do is you take the head of the garlic and you smash it. And everything falls apart. And all you got to do is pick out the garlics. Okay, and then we go back to the other technique. You remember that I showed you on the other video how to get these things to open up and then dehusk, or to actually take off the skin. I guess that we're calling it the skin. Remember, watch this. Here we go. Now what I'm going to do is mash it. Okay, and then this is just going to come right off. Look at that. And all that's gone. Let's do that one more time. Look at this big booger right here. We're just going to mash it. And then the skin comes right off. Gone. Okay, so to save a little bit of time, I'm going to mash up these. And a second one, because we definitely want this lasagna to have good taste. Garlic is an essential taste in any sauces that are, an Italian type of a meal. Not to mention it's a great antioxidant. And not to mention that it tastes delicious. So I'm going to chop these up, put them in a bowl, chop those up. We don't want it that big. We're going to do some chopping so that I'll show it to you like this when I'm done beating all these up and taking the skins off. And then we will chop them up and I'll show it to you again. But yeah, we're going to use both of these clovers of garlic. We'll be right back with some more delicious content creation. And what we will do is we will start to layer up the other items. But just like we always do in the past, we're going to deal with the pink slime. So we're going to make this, as soon as this is done, got a lot of flavor, salt, pepper, we're going to combine it all together with the sauce, and then we're going to show you how to make the sauce. Now, once the sauce is done, we will construct the lasagna, and then we'll put it in the oven, and it'll be delicious! Delicious content creation, delicious! Here we go. These are those two cloves of garlic, the 2 bushels of garlic. This is the garlic. We're going to chop it up. Delicious content creation. Chopped garlic. That's both of them. They can be small, they can be large. You just want it to be chopped. It's not going to go into the lasagna with the ingredients. It's going to just go into the sauce. Delicious content creation. And this is what we're doing. We got a bowl there. We got these olives. Now, all of these olives are going to go right into this lasagna. But what we need to do is slice them up. So, video magic. I'm going to slice these up and we'll be right back. And then we're going to go on to the next step, which is the garlic and the sauce. Delicious content creation. Now, this is what we're doing with that whole can of olives. We're just going to choppy, chop. Watch out. See, it doesn't have to be perfect. These are going to be sliced olives. They're more smaller olives. You can use any size. You can use large, you can use medium, you can use small. I want these to spread out a little bit more and smaller, so I got small ones. If I got bigger olives, I would have cut them bigger. And that's what we're doing with the cut up the olives part of the situation here. So we're going to just throw them right there into the bowl. That little sucker got away. Did you see him run? Okay, we're going over to the sauce. Let's go. Delicious! Delicious content creation. Dun, da, da. Tomato sauce. 29 ounce tomato sauce. This is the amount you want to put in to the sauce. Now, you got to think of how much this is when you put it into the pan with the rest of the water, and how much sauce do we need. So the way we figure that out is we're not worried about the pot. It just needs to hold enough and more than what we have to use. So How do we figure that out? We figure it out by taking this can. It's inside this pot, and we want enough sauce to fill up this lasagna pan. Let's call it lasagna pan. Pot, lasagna pan, whatever. Okay, so with this sauce and the water that goes in here is going to go into this pot with the rest of the ingredients. It's going to be a sauce, but believe me, a lot of the water that we have is going to get soaked up by the noodles and the vegetables and everything else. So we want to make sure we have enough sauce to cover everything and have it be in a nice bath of all the sauces. So I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to take my manual can opener and I'm going to open this. We need this can and we need this can. This can is called tomato paste. Now, this thickens up the sauce when we put it in with the other ingredients. So I'm going to open these up and I'm going to drop them right into that pot. So, let's do it. Can opening. Now, there's a thing about tomato sauce. You see, it's a sauce. So, I don't have to open the whole can up, yo. Just got to get it like that. And we're going to just pour it right in there. Okay. So, there's that. It's in there. Now, I'm going to chop open this little dogger here. And this guy, he is very thick. So I'm going to get rid of this lid. I'm going to get a little spoon. And I am going to just spoon that stuff all the way out. We want all that good stuff out of there. Let's go ahead and open it. See how thick that is? Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and go ahead and get this spoon right here. And just give it a little bit of a scrape. Also, what you want to do is when you use the manual can opening method that I am using, you try not to get any of these little shavings of steel into your food because that's not cool. Have you ever had that happen, children? No. Okay. That means you're intelligent. Use a can opener. Don't copy me. I am rugged and I'm from the Wild Wild West. So, how much water do we need? Let's go check that out. This is the way you figure that out. Delicious content creation. This is one of the best things in the entire world. You people need to really, really have more of it. It's called water. Okay, so what I did is I take the pan. Doesn't matter what pan. The size of the pan is irrelevant. If you're going to make a lasagna in that pan, you're going to want the right amount of water so that it fills up the pan and also leaves room to put all the ingredients. So, in essence, right now, this pan that I'm using, because they all change shapes and sizes, is about a little over, I would say, a little over halfway full. All right. Maybe a third, it would depend, but we're going to put more stuff in there. We've got this tomato sauce and paste, so we're going to add this water to the pot. I would say this would be a good amount of water. It's okay if you have a little bit of sauce left over, but you definitely want to have enough sauce for the lasagna. So we're going to pour this in the pot. We're going to go to the stove. Let's go get delicious. Delicious content creation. We are over here at the Stoveroni, and once again, we're going to go to 7.5 on the electricalizations. Alrighty, and that's the temperature we want under this doggy. See how it's getting nice and hot there? We want this pan to have that pink slime. We want to cook it up. Now, once again, if you don't like hamburger or food that has meat in it at all, and you would prefer a vegetarian, if you're just eating grass, and you're not eating meat, then you want a vegetarian. That's the word. The vegetable type of a food. I put meat in my stuff, guys. So, the sauce can or cannot have the meat. It all depends on you. And the way to do that is to just cook the meat separately. We'll add the meat into the lasagna when we stack it, not to the sauce. This way, you can put as much meat as you want into one layer, or you can spread it out over many layers. So what we're going to do is what we always do. We're going to cook this hamburger meat down. And what are our ingredients? Okay, we're doing lasagna. We want some garlic powder, Remember, garlic is our friend when we're cooking Italian stuff. We're going to throw some pepper all over that doggy, because that's a big old 1-pounder. So don't let this fool you and make you think that this is a lot of pepper. It's really not. This is just enough for this hamburger, and it's all going to melt into the sauce anyways. So we're going to throw some salt. Definitely want salt in that dogger, and that's a good amount. We want a good amount because we're making a sauce, and we want the sauce to have more salt, more flavor, where it doesn't even taste good. But when it melts and gets cooked up into the rest of the lasagna ingredients in the oven, it's going to all tone itself back down to where it doesn't taste like it's been over seasoned. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and cook up this hamburger meat. Okay, and then we got the sauce that's going to be cooked as well. So let's go over there while this starts cooking. I took the liberty of sticking the water that we had in that big old pan into that tomato paste and tomato sauce. So that's going to be the sauce. We're going to be adding stuff to it, so don't think that it's going to be bland like that. Now what we want to do is take salt. I'm going to put my hand here, and I want you to see that this looks like a lot of salt, but it's not. See, because this salt has to be able to penetrate all of those vegetables that we just cut up, and that might even not be enough. So we're just going to throw that salt in that because it's a lot of water. It's a lot of water. We are going to hit this doggy right here with some hardcore pepper as well. Just like that. That would say, okay, how much was that? I would say a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons, tablespoon and a half. We're not doing that here. We're making sauce. It's going to be thick. I'm going to get some more garlic in there because that garlic powder is going to be permeating everything right now. So some more garlic powder. And we're going to give that a mix. And we're going to get it some heat in the rear. We're just going to go ahead and boil that up. We're going to get it on a 7.5 or an 8. And we'll move some of this other stuff. So that's to the back there. We're going to get that up to a nice little simmer or a boil. And what we're going to do is let this meat over here cook up nice. What we want to do is we want to be able to have that well done. Just remember, pink slime, ladies and germs, it's odds and ends. A lot of times it's from different cattle, not all from one. Different fats from different animals. Doesn't have to all just be cow. Could be some bull. Could be, who knows, man. Whenever they chum up this stuff, it might contain some human being, and that's just Soylent Green. If you ever seen that movie, oh man, you don't want to have Soylent Green. That's why I stopped eating hot dogs. I'm lying, I still eat hot dogs. It's been proven that there's 2% DNA human in the hot dogs of any grade or any type that you eat, so be careful about hot dogs. If you start looking at other people and thinking that they're delicious, you might need to stop eating hot dogs. And now, I'm going to go ahead and get some of these ingredients together in a bowl and get ready to throw it into the sauce in the pot. We're going to cook this down. We're going to get rid of the grease. We're going to cook it very well, and we'll be right back. Delicious content creation. Let's content creation. This burger is cooking up really well here. It's got a lot of grease. We're going to cook it down, let it get nice and well done, and dump out the grease, and we'll be right back again with the delicious. God dang it, here we go. This meat is well done. Look at it. We drain the grease. We're going to cook it a little bit more, get it a little more crispy. Going to put it in this here bowl. Then we're going to start adding all the ingredients. I'm going to show you the sauce here in a second. So let's do that video magic that isn't video magic. I'm just going to move them across like this. Booyah! So now we're at the sauce, guys, because that meat is done. It's going to go ahead and keep cooking. Oops, I'm going to put it in a bowl. And this is the sauce. Now what we have in here, once again, the big can of tomato sauce. We got that tomato paste. It's just getting hot. It's warming up. And then we're going to add the other ingredients. Let's go. This is content creation. We are back. This is going into the sauce. It's just a little bit more flavor for it. We're going to boil the sauce down. It's going to be delicious. This is the zucchini stalks. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and leave those like that. We got some of the sliced olives. Those are going to stay like that. Got some of this zucchini. I'm going to slice that up a little bit more into smaller pieces. We got the mushroom. Slice that up in a little more pieces. We got the onion. The tomatoes already over there next to the sauce. We're going to be able to take some of the chopped tomato and throw that in to the sauce as well. We don't want the sauce to have too much of this because we want it all in the lasagna. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this kind of thing, you know, to this stuff. And then we're going to throw it in the sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up this little pieces right here. And we're going to go back to the sauce. And we'll be right back in a second. Delicious! Delicious content creation. Now we are at a boiling pot of the water, the seasoning, the tomato sauce, the tomato paste. Here goes our chopped up little extra flavor into it. We're going to go ahead and dump that in there. That's going to go ahead and get nice and soft. We want that to get all in there and give all the flavor into the sauce. This is the last step before we construct the lasagna in the pan and throw it in the oven. Now, remember what I said before. This garlic is not going to go directly into the lasagna. It's going to go into the sauce. So we're taking that whole double clover of garlic, cloves, bushels. We're taking all the garlic, man. We're putting it right into the bottle. See how it just made everything stop? It's like, wait a minute. That's what we're missing. That's why we were boiling so hard. We didn't have any garlic. It was mad at me. So I had all those other ingredients in there. We throw in the garlic. This is going to boil down some more. You can see where the thickness is coming in. Okay. This all plays into it when we put all the pasta and all the vegetables into the actual pan to cook. And it's just going to be delicious content creation. Now, what we've done is just taken that meat, very well done, out of the pan, put it in the bowl. This is going to be added to the lasagna with all of the other ingredients. All these other ingredients right here. Boom, 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 boom. Some more over there. Boom, boom. This is going to be so thick, so delicious, so healthy, so nutritious. It's going to be delicious. Yes. Delicious content creation. Just one more reminder. We got the cottage cheese. It's a whole bunch of it. We're going to try to use it all. Maybe not use it all, but we're going to assemble it and we will see. We got the mozzarellas, and this is 12 ounces of mozzarella. Apparently, all these little sticks are 1 ounce. I don't know. I don't care. They're delicious. They're going into that. We got 2 pounds of this Jack and Cheddar mixed cheese, and I'm going to use as much of that as possible. Most likely a pound, if not both pounds. I love cheese. You love cheese. We all love cheese. It's like the ice cream truck, except we don't got a good rhyme for it. So we're going to put all these cheeses in this. We're getting ready to assemble the lasagna. Get on in there. Let's do it. Delicious content creation. We are at the delicious content creation situation about to get great across the nation. We're doing lasagna. Now, these are the lasagna boxes. We're getting ready to go ahead and start assembling this doggy. And the way to start is with the base of it. I got this pan, okay? And I will pan out every time I need to. We're going to go ahead and just layer the bottom of this doggy with some lasagnas. And this is how you do the layering. And we'll start adding some sauce in a few minutes here. So we want to just go ahead, take up as much space across this thing we can. And then at the end, put one like that. But you see at the end, it doesn't fit as well. So what you want to do is you just want to break off a corner, break off another corner, and then set that doggy right there just like that. Huh? Yeah. And what do we do with the other pieces? Just throw them in there. It's pasta. It's delicious. We're going to go ahead and extend it this way. All the way across that way, like that. See on the other end how it's all laying over each other? I'm going to throw some more across it. We got 2 boxes of lasagna, so we want it to be able to go ahead and be used across the whole bottom. Any of that is just great for it. We're going to go ahead and get that there. Look at that. I'm going to just break a little more off because it's too big. That's all going to cook into deliciousness. It's all lasagna. It's not going to stop being lasagna until we eat it. And then after we eat it, well, it turns into poop. So, we're just going to go ahead and layer the bottom like that. Okay? That's the first step. Now, I'm going to swing around. We got this stuff boiling. We're just going to go ahead and shut it off. Now, you can see I threw a couple of whole pieces of the zucchini in there. Yeah, and a couple of pieces of mushroom in there. Just to make sure it's got enough flavor and some chunks that we're going to throw in there. Now, we're going to come back right over here. Now, the next step we want to do is put in what we're going to put in. This is going to be the first layer. So, we're going to want a little bit of everything, okay? Let's go ahead and let's throw a couple of onions this direction. See that? Nothing big. All this is going to get soft. It's all going to cook. This is coming from all these bowls. We put everything in bowls. Put everything in bowls. Let's throw a couple of tomatoes in there. Nothing big, just a few. It's got to be layers. It's going to be layers. Want to throw some of this mushroom in there all over the place. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. You're going to eat it. Some of this broccoli. We want that bottom to have a good base. So we're throwing those broccolis in there. We all love broccoli. And we want to get some of these zucchinis. That's it. Just throw them in there. A couple of those green ones. A couple of these yellow ones. Delicious. God dang it. I just want to eat it like this already. I don't even know, man. Some olives in there. A little black olive. Look at that. Can you do this? Yes. Will you do this? Yes. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and put in some of this cheese. We all know that cheese is essential in a lasagna. So let's get it in there. Look at that. This is the cheddar cheese, jack cheese mix. We just need it like this. Now I'll let you know, right around the edges is where all this stuff is going to flow to. We want to just go ahead and go like that. And what I did was I took those mozzarella sticks. Okay, they're supposed to be string cheese apparently. So we're just gonna break that up in there. We can make it stringy, or we can just throw chunks like that. It's okay. We want to throw a couple of these down here and there, and get it to be so stringy, like when you go to eat a piece, it'll be like a pizza with all kinds of stringiness. So let's go ahead and chuck this cheese in there like that. Okay, and that's probably enough for now. Let's go ahead and throw in some of this sauce. Now we're back over here again. This is the sauce. It looks watery. That's fine. You know why? Because it's got to be enough sauce to cook the pasta and also to make the vegetables all cook up real well. And since we're just about to throw this in the oven, we're going to start the oven. We're going to put it at 350 degrees. And I don't know why. Everything's always cooked at 350 degrees. We'll explore that on another video. But for now, let's put some sauce on the lasagna. Delicious. Okay, I brought the pot a little bit closer. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and pour in some of this sauce. Look at that. It doesn't look much like sauce, but it is sauce. Everything else is going to melt together in this thing right here. You're going to see. It's going to be delicious. All right, now we got that layer down there for the pasta and everything in there like that. What we want to do is put another layer of pasta. Make sure we get those little fragments in there. They're delicious. Give it a little pressure. Okay, and we don't have to worry about the edges because it is all gonna flow that direction. We'll put one more piece right here, and then we're gonna give it a layer of cottage cheese. Now this cottage cheese also has a lot of moisture in it, which helps things to cook. And we just want that in there in place of the ricottas and the other cheeses we're not using, because a lot of times lasagnas can be very dynamic, very, very cheesy in so many ways that it's just, you know, the expensive cheeses. And a lot of people don't really have a lot of money to get all the expensive cheeses. So we want to make sure that, because you don't really know all those names of the cheeses, we want to make sure that you can just get basic ingredients. So there goes that. Now what we want to do is put in some more ingredients. Here comes the hamburger. Let's go ahead and get some beef in that, because we are eating a regular lasagna, not a vegetarian lasagna. So we're going to throw some beef here. Now look, we want to keep a little bit of all the ingredients to throw on the top so that everybody knows what's in it when they go to eat it. So I'm going to be on the top. You'll be able to see it. Okay, so we're going to get some more of these olives in there like that. Huh? Because it looks like we're going to have a 3-layer. This is a shallow pan. So we're going to throw some of these tomatoes, because that'll give it some beef. A little tomato bite. No biggie. They're delicious. We love those. And a little more of this onion in there. This is just all food that is healthy and nutritious for you guys. It's real ingredients. Those are real onions, real mushrooms, not that stuff in a can. We don't know where that stuff came from, guys. That's just really weird. A lot of these people buy stuff in a box, throw it in the microwave or in the oven, cook it up, and then next thing you know, you're eating whatever the heck that stuff is made out of. This is made out of nature's foods. This is like God wanted you to eat. So we're going to get some more of this zucchini around here like that. We want a couple of pieces for the top. This is the second layer. We're almost done with all these vegetables. We chopped up a whole bunch of vegetables, but in reality, it really wasn't that much vegetables. It's just more little bits of amounts of food that you have and combine turn into more of a lot of bits of food that you can have when you combine. Like this is going to serve people, you know, for a large party. I don't know. Personally, I just cut it up into pieces. And then I, you know, will eat it later on after I freeze it in the freezer and then microwave it later. So let's get some more of this sauce in there. Don't forget, this is actually going to be what it's going to kind of even resemble, after I get the top on, not so much, but it's going to kind of resemble a soup because everything in there needs to cook. So it's going to need water to cook. And this sauce has a lot of salt. It's extra garlicky. It's extra everything in there. And this is going to help this to turn into something so delicious that everybody's going to want some. So I'm going to throw some more cheese in here, right? Right? Can you do that? Do you like that? Gotta have that cheese, buddy. You gotta have it. Delicious content creation. We'll be right back. Delicious content creation. We're back. Mozzarella sticks. We're gonna add some more sauce because it needs more sauce. Now, believe it or not, this entire big giant pot that you've just seen me boiling up is probably barely going to be enough to cover this thing. Okay, because we still got one more layer. So we're going to see it. See how that sauce is coming up to the edges? Okay, watch out now. Now what we want to do is get the rest of the last layer on. And then throw it in the oven. So we're going to put these pastas. Now this is another trick. We get these pastas up here like this. Okay, together. And what we want to do is kind of make it so we can push this all down and smash it down on itself because it's really bulky. It's full of air, even though it's full of water. And we will have a couple of these lasagna sticks left, which is no biggie because you can always use it on the next one. Or you can just make sure we have a whole lot of pasta all together. Let's do that. And what we will do, we'll get these edges. Okay, now I'm going to push it down just enough to flatten it. You see how that's flattening out? Now another thing that's going to happen is we get this in the oven. All of this stuff is even going to flatten down more. It's going to melt into the pot. So we're going to get the oven ready to go. I'm going to start the oven. I'll be right back. Let's go. Let's not forget the hamburger. It's got meat on it. All right, here we go. It's in there. Let's do it. Yeah, baby. Delicious content creation. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to open this up. We've preheated it to 350. I think it's still kind of heating up but we're going to shove this lasagna right there on the rack. Now I have the top loosely covered because I don't want the ingredients all to stick to the top. Plus I do want that water to bake down. That sauce is going to get thicker as it boils down with all the other ingredients. And do not forget to put some sauce on the top of the lasagna before you cover it with aluminum foil. So now we are in the oven. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm really going to check it like in 30. We're going to see where the pasta's at and how the vegetables and stuff look. We'll come back and visit it. And if it needs a couple of more minutes, we'll leave it in there. But generally 30 minutes is enough. 45 is a lot. But if we leave it in for 45, at 30 minutes, we want to take off that aluminum foil and then let the top of that lasagna just get nice and toasty and burned up kind of, sort of. So it's got like a shell. Oh my God, my mouth just watered. We'll be back to this content creation. God, take it all. I want to eat this stuff. We now have the lasagna getting ready to come out. Now, what happened was I had some noodles on the tops and edges that didn't make it down into the sauce because everything else was cooking and pushing those edges out of the way instead of it cooking evenly. So we're going to yank this lasagna out. We're going to let it sit for a couple seconds so it can solidify, and then we're going to chop it up and eat it because it is done. Let's get ready to check it out. I'll pull it out and put it right up on here on the stove, and we'll be right back. Delicious content creation, and this is what it looked like after I pushed all the things down, because the edges were, getting not cooked the way I wanted them to, but now they're in a good spot. Anything that was above is nice and crispy, crunchy, and cooked. It's all lasagna-ized. This doggy, now that I had to actually make it not look as pretty, but it's going to be just as delicious. I shoved down those, zucchinis down in there like that so that they would get cooked. The heat, as you can see, it's steaming hot. It's delicious. We're going to let it set for a couple seconds. We're going to take a couple of cuts into it, and then we're going to eat it. And that's the way that works. We'll be right back after we chop it, take out a couple chunks, and see what it looks like inside. Delicious content creation. Now, everything that we did, remember that after we put the topping on the last, you want to put some sauce over it. Put it in for 30 minutes, at the most 1 hour. It turned out just as delicious and wonderful as I thought it would be, because I took a little taste on the side over there. I just kind of hiding it. Delicious content creation. Yeah, we'll be right back. Delicious content creation is, as you can see, we have taken some square chunks out of this goddamn lasagna. Oh, excuse me. It is delicious. We've been eating it. Myself, I'm my own critic. I think it should have been full of a little bit more seasoning, spice, salt, but it's delicious. No way around it. It still came out great. It's starting to cool down into little squares of lasagna, because I don't know if you can see it. I cut through here, and I cut through here, and the side of crown, and down, around. So we end up with nice little squares of lasagna later to put away. Look at that. Look at how that's moving. That's a lasagna, baby. Delicious content creation. We're crazy with it. The next video won't be this long, but it will be as delicious. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Delicious content creation in your home.